So I know that there's something a lot of people have been requesting, and I have not done it yet. That's just because I haven't had time until now. A lot of people have been asking for a full axolotl care guide. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to go over is cleaning the tank, because as you can see, this tank is insanely dirty, and that is because a lot of this is leftover pellets that they didn't eat, that I sprinkled in there. Some of it is their poop, and I mean, it is just extremely filthy. It's also been about a week and a half since I've cleaned it, which you're supposed to clean them every week, but because of drag season, I haven't had a whole lot of time. So today you're really going to see the full effect of cleaning it and how we take care of them. But before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and show you some supplies that you are going to need to clean your axolotl tank. And the first one is actually going to be right down here. It's going to be this. Now, what is this? Ignore the fact that like 50 million things just came out. But this is a siphon. It's got a nice little pump on it. You can find electric ones. I like to use my manual. I do have an electric one for when I go clean the axolotl tank at standout. But I like to use that one because it's longer and my tank's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go show you the other supplies right now. So the next thing you're going to want to grab is a bucket. Now, these are just 5-gallon buckets. They're the most easiest. Honestly, any container could work, but these are what I recommend. As you can see, one is much cleaner than the other. That's because this is the one I put the dirty water in. That's the one I put the clean water in, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, this is the dirty water. So we're going to go ahead and set that over here, over here at the tank. Let's go to move some of these packages that we have at shows. So come check us out at our shows. Where's the stool? Okay, I found the stool. We're good. Give me that. Just gonna go ahead and take it. I need to clean this off. But I built this stool a few years ago and I wanted to show it off. Okay, so we have this all together. But are you ready? No, you're not. We got to do one more thing. So one very important thing is we have to open this up. We're going to take all of the plants out because the plants get a lot of dirt and stuff on them too, and it's very important that you wash them out. Yeah, these plants are not super clean, so we're going to go ahead and take out all the big plants. We're also going to let some of the dirt and stuff fly around. Now, one thing that I do want to clarify is you do not have to move your axolotls out of the tank to clean the tank. You can leave them in there and it's completely fine. You can if you'd like to. Some people do it just to be safe, and I'm completely okay with that, but I don't, just because they're big and I don't want to take them in and out of their environment so quickly. So yeah, we will wash those off later. Now let's go ahead and get into the main portion of cleaning the filth out of this tank. I went ahead and with my siphon here, I pumped it, and now water is flowing into the bucket. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and film this and do this at the same time. But as we get closer, obviously my siphon begins to suck all of that up. Now, obviously we have a sand bottom tank, and you are going to pick up sand. Try and pick up as little as possible by hovering your siphon just a little over it. But and that goes for any aquarium where you would have a sand bottom. If you have a sand bottom, you're going to get sand put up in there. It shouldn't clog anything as long as you have a good enough water flow. We'll also need to clean the glass too, but we'll get to that later. And yeah, so you don't really have to worry about that a whole lot. I got almond leaf on there. Get off of there. Need that in there. Just make sure you don't get too much. We have had a sand bottom tank for about I want to say 10 months, and it is absolutely fine to have in there. We probably will put more sand in there, which if you guys would like to see us put more sand in a sand bottom tank, so you know how that's done too, let us know. That's just kind of a general knowledge thing. And as you can see, the water in the bucket's pretty dark, so here shortly I will be taking it and dumping. Alright, so I have a bucket full of water. It's dirty and it's full of just crap from the tank. So what you're going to want to do with this bucket of water is you're going to simply dump it wherever is legal. In this case, my front yard. You're going to dump it and then you're going to go back in. I'm going to go put the siphon back in, and I'm gonna pump it, and we're gonna keep going, and then dumping it back out. And interesting thing about this is a lot of that was axolotl poop, and if you have a lot of axolotl poop, it can be used as fertilizer. Just a thought if you have a garden. So yeah, I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna start doing that now, and get this done with. One thing you may have noticed during that awesome little time lapse I've just done is that the fact that the water still looks kind of brown, and that is because the back of the tank, the glass is absolutely filthy. So there are a couple ways to take care of that. One, you have to really scrub it with a napkin. Two, you can use a razor blade if you want. Or three, I have this. What this does is you rub it back and forth across the glass. This front glass isn't too bad. And basically, it's magnetic, and it has a little scrubber on the inside and the handle on the outside. And you can also kick up some of the front water with it if you think that there's some issues with that, if that needs cleaned. So yeah, we get it up and down, and I mean, this front glass is starting to look better. It's going to splash and sound funny. Also, that sounds like a machine is trying to work. That's the filter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that back right now. So, well, I think by now I should have done it. And hey, look at that. I did do it. It looks a lot better. It obviously still has some dirt on it, but I just wanted to show you how much that really can affect it. I am going to clean the rest of it here in just a second. But now, as you can see, the water has just gotten a lot more brown, and there's a bunch of stuff back in the bottom because all that stuff has to go somewhere. So you definitely want to make sure that you clean off your glass before you put in clean water, and because if you don't, you're going to have to do the whole thing all over again. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this done, and then we're going to go ahead and get another time lapse. Hi. My phone almost died while I was recording that, and I could not get that time lapse. However, the tank is ready to fill. So, I'm going to show you how to do that. I have my emptying bucket because the dirty bucket's dirty. Now, you can just rinse out the dirty bucket and use it. We don't have two buckets, but I'm lucky enough to have two buckets. Now, we want to fill this up pretty high. And the water has to be cold. It has to be as cold as humanly possible. So we're going to let this fill up, and then I'm going to carry it out of here and then dump it in. And I will show you, because you have to dump it in, and when you dump it in, you have to make sure that it doesn't dump too quickly, or else the sand will go everywhere and your axolotls will be blown all over the place. So you want to make sure you have a nice gentle flow as you pour it in. I know some people are impatient, but it has to be done. So that is what you do to fill the tank. That's kind of hard for me to film and hold a 5-gallon bucket of water at the same time. I'm not going to do another time lapse because my phone is still almost dead and I'd like to let it charge. So I will see you once you get the tank filled. All right, the water is now filled in the tank. And now, as you can see, it looks pretty cloudy. Now, part of that is just a lot of the dirt particles that we didn't suck up the first time are now getting thrown back up because of the water, and they will be coming back down. As you can see, a lot of them have all accumulated in this corner here. And honestly, a lot of them will get picked up by the filter that I have in the back. And that's okay for the time being, just to let everything settle. But you may be asking me,
what are we going to do about the dirt afterwards?
And I'm so glad you asked that, because what you're going to do in roughly 12 to 24 hours, you're going to come back and redo the entire process again, except without the window cleaning. That way you can get these particles that are in the corners, which I will be doing either later tonight or tomorrow after our Sin City Reptile Expo that we will be working with standout serpents with. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to do that, but until then, we have to worry about these guys. Remember these? Right, well, we have to wash these off, obviously. Now, I'm not talking about, I mean, if you want to get some soap, you can, but the easiest way to do this, honestly, is just rinse them off in your bathtub. I'm going to try and talk a little louder because my shower's loud. What you're going to do is you're going to very thoroughly scrub these in the water, and as you can see, the dirt is kind of coming off of them. See it getting in the bottom of the shower, that'll all go down the drain, and it won't affect anything. So I gotta say, that is looking quite a bit better already. So we're gonna set that to the side. We're gonna grab another one like this giant tree. So the big plants are the ones that need it the most because they accumulate the most, like dirt and things like that. I mean, just look at how much is just coming off there right now. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash the rest of these, and then we're gonna place them back in the tank. Now, when you put them back in the tank, you want to make sure that you're doing it, that you put them in a space where it's not blocking your view of the axolotls, but they're spaced out enough to where they can kind of hide in them. They love to lay in these little artificial plants, and they love to hide in them. So you want to make sure that they have room to do that. It's a balance you have to achieve. Something you'll definitely want to make sure you do also is you rinse out your filter cartridges. You'll want to change them about every 2 to 3 changes, but this one, all it needs is a little rinse. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and put it back under here. And I mean, just get all this dirt off. That way it can pick up some of that, some of those particles that we saw earlier that were floating around. And you can do this before or after you do the actual clean. It doesn't matter. I can't really scrub this with one hand, so I'll show you the tank once I get this back in there. Hi. While I was filming that, my family was in Columbus, and now that they are back, I have to film the last clip for this outside in the wind. So I'm going to talk loud to try and get my point across. So here's a picture of the tank. It's done. I had to take a picture of it because they were getting in as I finished the filter. Like I said, the rest of that stuff will settle, and I'll go back and get it later. But another thing is I want to explain some do's, and I want to explain some don'ts that I didn't explain while I was cleaning it. So a couple do's. If you live in the city, which I do not, I have well water. But if you have city water contains a little bit of chlorine in it, and that's not good for them. So if you live in the city, definitely do go ahead and put some dechlorinator in your water. Go ahead and follow the instructions. They'll be on the bottle somewhere. You can pick a bottle of that up at your local pet store. Next thing is you want to, like I said, you want to make sure you replace those filters. I think I did go over that because those even no matter how, eventually those get nasty no matter what you do. Another thing is when you have your siphon in there, you want to make sure that you do not, and I repeat this, do not try and suck up your axolotl, especially if it's a baby. That can hurt it. That can hurt its gills. That can hurt the rest of its body. That can tear pieces of the tail off. That's really not good. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments, and I will be back to explain it in the next video. But until then, I am going to go see my family. They've got me this giant cream puff. So, do you think you got all that information down, including like the cleaning? Good, because that's the end of the video, so bye. Go watch one of our other videos. They're really good.